Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of twists and turns, and sometimes along this journey, we encounter moments that are deeply painful, especially when someone we trust betrays us. Betrayal can shake us to our core, leaving scars on our hearts and minds. The question often arises, how do we forgive? And more importantly, how do we forget such painful experiences? Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, nor is it a way of excusing the wrongdoer. It is a gift we give to ourselves to reclaim peace and move forward. So today let's explore how we can rise above betrayal, heal our wounds and restore the inner balance within ourselves. When someone betrays you, it's natural to feel a surge of emotions: hurt, anger, confusion, maybe even disbelief. These feelings can be overwhelming and difficult to process. A key step in healing is to first acknowledge these emotions. It's crucial to give yourself permission to feel whatever arises without judgment. Too often we try to suppress our emotions because we think we should be stronger or move on more quickly. But the truth is, pain doesn't go away just because we ignore it. By acknowledging the hurt, you're allowing yourself to truly understand the depth of your feelings. This isn't about dwelling in negativity or staying stuck in your pain, it's about honoring your emotions and accepting that what you're experiencing is valid. If you've been hurt, it makes sense to feel pain, so allow yourself that moment to process what's happening internally. When we face our pain head-on, we create space for healing. It's only by embracing our emotions that we can eventually release them. Moreover, acknowledging your pain isn't just about the immediate hurt, it's about recognizing how the betrayal has affected you on a deeper level. Sometimes betrayal strikes at the heart of our trust or even our self-worth. It can trigger old wounds and insecurities, which may complicate the healing process. But in order to truly heal, we must first understand where the hurt is coming from. When you stop denying your feelings and give yourself the time and space to truly feel, you stop letting the hurt control you. Instead of pushing it aside and letting it fester, you can process it, gain clarity and begin to let go. By acknowledging your pain, you make the first move towards freeing yourself from the emotional chains that betrayal places on you. This step might be uncomfortable, but it is one of the most essential parts of the journey toward healing and peace. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a way of excusing someone else's behavior or justifying their actions. In reality, forgiveness is something deeply personal. It's a gift you give to yourself. When you hold on to anger, resentment or hatred, it's not the person who betrayed you who suffers the most. It's you. Those emotions can eat away at your inner peace, keeping you trapped in the past and preventing you from moving forward. Holding on to a grudge is like carrying a heavy burden on your shoulders, and the longer you carry it, the harder it becomes to let go. When you forgive, you release yourself from the control that the betrayal has over your emotional state. It doesn't mean you're saying that the hurtful actions were okay or that you've forgotten what happened. It simply means that you're choosing to no longer allow that pain to govern your thoughts, your reactions, or your peace of mind. Forgiveness allows you to take back your power and emotional autonomy. It means you're not letting the actions of another person dictate how you feel or how you live. Think about the energy it takes to hold on to anger or resentment. It consumes your mental and emotional resources. You might replay the situation over and over in your mind, reliving the hurt and fueling the anger. Every time you do this, you're reactivating the pain and keeping it alive. But when you choose to forgive, you're choosing to stop feeding that cycle. You're not doing it for the person who betrayed you, but for your own well-being. You're choosing peace over turmoil. Forgiveness also doesn't mean you forget the lesson that the experience taught you. You can forgive someone and still be wiser, more discerning in the future. Forgiving someone allows you to clear the emotional fog that clouds your judgment. By letting go of bitterness, you open yourself up to clarity, insight, and a healthier, more balanced emotional state. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of hurt and resentment, and in doing so, you create space for growth and healing. Ultimately, forgiveness is a way of reclaiming your peace and your emotional freedom. It's about giving yourself the opportunity to live fully and freely, unburdened by the past. It's an act of self-care and self-respect. So, when you choose to forgive, Remember that it's for you. It's not about excusing someone else's actions, but about healing and moving forward with your life. One of the most challenging aspects of betrayal is how easily it can trap us in the past. When someone hurts us, especially someone we trust, it's natural to replay the event over and over in our minds. We think about what happened, how it happened, and how we could have prevented it. It's as if we're stuck in a loop of the past, constantly reliving the pain and betrayal. But this cycle can be incredibly limiting. It keeps us emotionally tied to something that no longer exists. By holding on to the past, we are giving it power over us in the present. Every time we revisit the hurt, we give it fresh energy. This doesn't just affect our emotional state, it can influence our behavior and interactions with others. We may start to expect betrayal from others, live with a sense of suspicion, or carry a defensive wall around us, thinking that if we protect ourselves enough, we won't get hurt again. While it's important to learn from the past, we must also recognize that we cannot change it. We are only able to control how we respond to it now. Letting the past control you is like holding on to an anchor that keeps you stuck in one place. It prevents you from moving forward, learning and growing. In fact, sometimes it's not the betrayal itself that holds us back, it's our unwillingness to release the emotional attachment to what happened. The more you cling to the past, the more it holds you hostage. But the present is where your power lies. In the present, you have the ability to choose your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Every time you revisit the past, you are choosing to remain stuck. Letting go of it means giving yourself the opportunity to experience life fully without the shadow of past pain looming over you. See, living in the present allows you to release the grip that past betrayals have on your heart and mind. It creates the space for new experiences, relationships, and growth. Yes, the past has shaped who you are today, but it doesn't have to define who you become. You are not your past pain. You are not the betrayal you've experienced. What you are is someone who is capable of healing, growing, and stepping into a future that is not dictated by what happened before. The longer you let the past control you, the more you rob yourself of the opportunities and potential of the present moment. Ultimately, choosing not to let the past control you means choosing freedom. It means breaking free from the emotional chains that keep you anchored to something that no longer serves you. It's a choice to live with more awareness, more mindfulness, and more intentionality. And when you let go of the past, you give yourself the chance to step into a brighter future, free from the weight of old wounds. Misfortunes are powerful, and when they are not met, they often lead to disappointment and hurt. We all have expectations of how things should be, how people should behave, how situations should unfold, and how we should be treated. These expectations are often shaped, but the reality is expectations can set us up for pain, especially when we place them on others. When someone betrays us, it's often because we had a certain vision of how they should act or how they should have treated us, and that vision didn't align with reality. By holding on to rigid expectations, we set ourselves up for disappointment. People are unpredictable, and they are often dealing with their own struggles, fears, and limitations. The truth is, no one can ever fully live up to all our expectations. When we expect someone to behave in a certain way and they don't, it creates a gap between what we thought would happen and what actually did. This gap is where the pain of betrayal often resides. We may feel let down, hurt, or even betrayed by someone we trusted, but in truth, what we are experiencing is the result of our own expectations not being met, not necessarily the actions of the other person. Letting go of expectations doesn't mean that you stop caring or that you should allow people to mistreat you. It simply means that you release the idea that others will always behave in the way you want them to. It allows you to be more open to reality rather than being attached to an imagined scenario. When you release expectations, you free yourself from the constant cycle of disappointment and hurt. You can interact with others and situations as they truly are rather than how you hope they will be. Releasing expectations also invites you to accept people for who they are, not who you want them to be. It means understanding that everyone comes with their own baggage, flaws, and limitations. and that no one is perfect. It's about adjusting your mindset to a place of acceptance where you recognize that people may disappoint you at times, but that doesn't make them inherently bad or unworthy. It simply means they are human and they have their own paths to follow just as you do. In the end, forgiveness and healing are not about erasing the past or forgetting the pain. They are about freeing yourself from its grip, choosing peace over resentment, and embracing life as it unfolds. When you release the weight of past betrayals, let go of rigid expectations, and acknowledge your pain without judgment, you create space for growth, clarity, and deeper emotional freedom. Remember, the power to heal is always in your hands, and by choosing to forgive, you reclaim your peace and your strength. Life is too precious to be held captive by the actions of others. Chukapuk Chakta. So, take a step forward, embrace the wisdom that comes from your experiences, and trust that every moment offers a new opportunity to live fully without the burden of past hurts. Let go and step into the future with an open heart.